Apple's developer conference starts today. It's expected to be a showcase really for the new head of software, Jonathan Ive, as the company rolls out new operating systems. But the lack of anticipation surrounding this meeting tells you everything you need to know about how investors see Apple these days. WSJ's tech guru Spencer Ante joins us now. Tell us a little bit about Jonathan Ive. I mean, I think in the tech world he's very well known.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he's a real household name.
No, not nearly like a Steve Jobs or even a Tim Cook. He's the design director of Apple, and since Steve Jobs passed away a few years ago, he's definitely taken on more responsibilities in the company. And some people see him maybe as the future heir apparent of Apple, because he has his fingerprints on virtually every single product that Apple has made, and he worked very closely with Steve Jobs.
Yeah, and they're talking about today they're going to roll out some new software, and he's been in charge of this directly right now in a way that he wasn't before.
Yes.
So this kind of becomes, almost a little bit of a referendum on his abilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
This is a big moment for Apple. It just shows you a year ago when their developers conference was being held, Apple was literally at the top of the world.
Yeah.
Its stock was just a few months away from peaking. The excitement around the iPhone 5 was starting to rise, and now a year later, their stock's close to $400, down from $700. And like you said, they're just not dominating the conversation the way they used to, which I think is a troubling sign for a company that sort of thrives on that kind of talk.
I mean, you can see the stock there, so it's up a little bit today, but you're right. I mean, it's amazing too. This company makes billions of dollars a quarter in profit.
Yeah.
I mean, billions. It's not like they're struggling to make money.
No.
But they are not, in terms of the popular conceptions, they're not where they used to be.
But there's something real to that stock chart, which is that things change so quickly in this industry. You look at like a RIM or Nokia, they were like leaders, and 2 or 3 years later they're in the dumps. And so investors are signaling that Apple doesn't have the products that they need to continue that kind of growth. And so that's why this conference is so important. People want to see some of the magic back, and I think there's a good chance that it won't be back. Despite this new operating system. There's two big things people that are expecting. The new operating system, as you noticed, which has a risk to it, which is yes, they do need to reinvent it, because it hasn't been really reinvented since they blazed the trail 5 years ago with smartphones. But if it's too different, it could alienate their huge user base, like Microsoft did with Windows. The second thing is the streaming radio service, which is another sign of Apple being kind of out of it. It's like Pandora's been around for years, Spotify's been around. Now they're finally coming to market with a streaming radio service. I mean, who cares? I mean, it's going to really have to be great to knock people's socks off.
Well, and that's the thing. You look at what they might introduce and compare it to what they used to introduce in years past. It's just nowhere near what they used to do.
Unless there's a surprise, which is some people think on the blogs that the fact that there hasn't been a lot of leaks out of this developers conference, which are traditionally leak filled, and that's what creates a lot of the anticipation and rising chatter, that maybe there is something up their sleeve. There's a wild card factor here that you can't ignore, but I think chances are that it's not going to be a huge wow factor.
Yeah. All right, we'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Spencer Ante, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in.